German officers trusted some of the finest pistols ever built. The Luger P08, the Walther P38, even the Browning High Power, elegant, precise, engineered with almost obsessive perfection. But in the trenches and forests of France, many of those same officers learned to fear something heavier, louder, ugly, American. Because this weapon was never designed for elegance. It was never designed for parade uniforms. It was designed for the worst 3 seconds of a man's life. And the reason it existed began half a world away from Europe. In the years leading up to the First World War, Germany possessed arguably the most refined officer sidearm culture on Earth. Its pistols were symbols of rank, education, and technical mastery. The Luger P08, with its toggle lock action and watchmaker-grade machining, represented everything a German officer was supposed to embody: precision, discipline, quiet authority. German doctrine reinforced this idea completely. Officers were expected to direct combat, not fight inside it. A pistol was a last resort, something light, something accurate, something discreet, something for the rare moment where everything else had already gone wrong. And for the kind of war Germany expected to fight, that doctrine made perfect sense. Until they ran into an army that had built its pistol for the exact opposite world. By the early 1900s, the United States Army had already learned in blood what close combat actually looked like. The lesson came from the Philippine-American War. Dense jungle, extreme heat, ambushes at knife range. American troops carried the Colt M1911, chambered in .38 long Colt. On paper, the cartridge was acceptable. In reality, the reports coming back were impossible to ignore. Moro juramentados, attackers in a state of religious frenzy, were being shot multiple times and continuing to advance. Some closed the final yards with bullets already in their bodies. The .38 long Colt simply was not stopping determined men in time. That forced the Army to commission what became known as the Thompson-LaGarde tests of 1904, named after Lieutenant Colonel John T. Thompson, who would later give his name to one of history's most famous submachine guns, and Colonel Louis LaGarde. The two men tested various calibers on cattle and on human cadavers, trying to answer one brutal question: what cartridge stops a determined enemy immediately? Their conclusion shocked nobody who had actually seen close combat. Nothing below .45 caliber inspired full confidence. That conclusion went to one man, John Moses Browning. And Browning did not design a prestige object. He designed an answer. Heavy steel frame, single-action trigger, 7-round magazine, a 230-grain bullet leaving the muzzle at roughly 850 feet per second. The locked breech short recoil action he developed for it would influence almost every successful semi-automatic pistol built afterward. During Army trials, the prototype fired 6,000 rounds, without a single catastrophic failure. On March 29, 1911, the United States Army formally adopted it, the M1911. And without fully realizing it, they had just created one of the most feared close-range weapons of the next 100 years. And 7 years later, one farmer from Tennessee would prove the Army had been right. That farmer was Alvin York. Before the war, York was exactly what nobody in Berlin would have considered strategically dangerous. A farmer, a hunter, a quiet man from the Cumberland Hills of Tennessee, a marksman who had spent his youth shooting wild turkeys with a single-shot rifle. On October 8, 1918, during the Meuse Argonne Offensive, York and 16 other American soldiers slipped behind a German position to silence a series of machine gun nests. The Germans spotted them. The machine guns opened up. 9 Americans went down almost immediately. And York found himself the senior man still able to fight. He used his M1917 Enfield for most of what came next. Calmly, methodically. He engaged German gun crews one shooter at a time, using the same patience he had learned hunting back home. Then a German lieutenant ordered 6 soldiers to fix bayonets and charge him from less than 30 yards away. A bolt-action rifle was useless at that range. There was simply no time to work the bolt between shots. So York drew his M1911. And here, his hunting background became something else entirely. He shot the last man in the line first, then the next, then the next, working forward so the men in front never saw the men behind them fall. By the time the charge should have reached him, all 6 attackers were on the ground. Within minutes, surviving Germans were stacking their weapons in front of one American corporal. By the end of the engagement, York and his small group brought back 132 prisoners. And York was not the exception. Across the Western Front, German officers were filing similar reports. American trench raiders, tunnel cleaners, assault teams. Men carrying these heavy pistols into places where engineering elegance meant absolutely nothing. Because at 3 meters, in mud, smoke, darkness, and blood, watchmaker precision counts for very little. What matters is whether the round you fire actually stops the man in front of you. And the .45 ACP did exactly that. That is what made the M1911 so feared. Not the steel, not the weight, not the reputation, the philosophy. Germany built its officer sidearms for command. America built its pistol for crisis. Germany optimized for elegance. America optimized for certainty. Germany expected distance. America expected contact. And trenches, bunkers, night raids, shell holes, and collapsed buildings do not care about elegance. At 3 meters, only one question matters. Will this weapon stop him right now? And for the German officers who encountered the .45 from the wrong end of the barrel, the answer was unforgettable. The M1911 would go on to serve through 2 world wars, through the Korean War, through the Vietnam War, and through 74 years of continuous American military service. Variants of it are still carried by specialized units today, for one reason. Because when distance disappears, when doctrine fails, when the fight becomes personal, the only thing that actually matters is whether the weapon in your hand was built for reality or built for the appearance of readiness. And in the forests of France, German officers discovered something their engineering had never prepared them for. Precision earns respect, but at 3 meters, stopping power wins wars.